Imagine a world where your thoughts shape reality, where ancient wisdom holds the key to modern happiness, and where you have the power to completely change your life. Sounds too good to be true? Well, get ready to have your mind blown. Today, we're diving into 20 life-changing philosophies that will revolutionize the way you see yourself and the world around you. These aren't just empty words or wishful thinking. These are time-tested ideas that have transformed lives for thousands of years. And the best part, you don't need to be a genius or a guru to use them. These philosophies are simple, practical, and powerful. They work for anyone, anywhere, at any time. So are you ready to unlock the secrets of a more fulfilling, peaceful, and successful life? Let's jump right in. Now, you might be wondering, why should I care about these philosophies? Well, let me tell you, understanding and applying these ideas can be the difference between living a life of struggle and stress and one of joy and purpose. Think about it. How many times have you felt stuck, overwhelmed, or just plain unhappy? These philosophies are like a toolbox for your mind and soul. They give you the tools to handle life's challenges, find inner peace, and create the life you've always dreamed of. But here's the real kicker. These aren't complicated ideas that you need a PhD to understand. These philosophies are meant for everyday life. They're practical wisdom that you can use whether you're dealing with a tough boss, trying to improve your relationships, or just figuring out how to be happier. Each of these philosophies is like a seed. Plant it in your mind, nurture it with attention and practice, and watch as it grows into a mighty tree of wisdom that shelters and supports you throughout your life. And let's be real. In today's fast-paced, often chaotic world, we need this wisdom more than ever. We're bombarded with information, pressured to always be on, and often left feeling empty despite having more stuff than ever before. These philosophies are like an anchor in the storm. They remind us of what truly matters, help us find balance, and show us how to live with purpose and meaning. So, whether you're a student trying to figure out your path in life, a parent juggling a million responsibilities, or someone who just feels there's got to be more to life than this, these philosophies are for you. They're not about escaping reality or living in some mystical realm. They're about embracing life fully, with all its joys and challenges, and becoming the best version of yourself. Are you ready to transform your life? Let's explore these game-changing philosophies together. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. What do you see? Just your reflection, right? Well, what if I told you that the whole world is like a giant mirror, reflecting back to you your innermost thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes? This is the mirror principle, and it's a game changer. Here's how it works. The way you see yourself and the world around you shapes your reality. If you believe you're not good enough, guess what? The world will keep showing you evidence that confirms this belief. On the flip side, if you see yourself as capable and deserving of good things, you'll start noticing opportunities and positive experiences that match this view. Now, this doesn't mean that if you think about a red car, one will magically appear in your driveway. It's more subtle than that. It's about the overall pattern of your life. Your beliefs and attitudes are like a filter through which you experience the world. They influence how you interpret events, how you interact with others, and even what opportunities you notice or ignore. The good news is, Once you understand this principle, you can use it to your advantage. Start paying attention to your thoughts and beliefs. Are they mostly positive or negative? Do you expect good things to happen, or are you always waiting for the other shoe to drop? By consciously choosing more positive, empowering thoughts, you can gradually shift your experience of life. Remember, this isn't about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that your perspective plays a huge role in shaping your experience. So, the next time you look in the mirror, ask yourself, what am I reflecting out into the world? And what's being reflected back to me? How often do you find yourself worrying about the future or dwelling on the past? If you're like most people, probably quite a lot. But here's the thing. The only moment we ever really have is right now, this present moment. And that's what the power of now is all about. And this philosophy teaches us that true peace and happiness can only be found in the present moment. The past is gone. We can learn from it, but we can't change it. The future hasn't happened yet. We can plan for it, but worrying about it only robs us of our peace now. So how do we tap into the power of now? It starts with awareness. Begin to notice when your mind wanders to past regrets or future anxieties. When you catch yourself doing this, gently bring your attention back to the present. Focus on your breath, the sensations in your body, or the sights and sounds around you. This might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful. When you're fully present, you're not caught up in mental chatter about what might go wrong or what has gone wrong. You're simply experiencing life as it is, right now. And in this state, you'll find a sense of peace and aliveness that's often missing when we're lost in thought. Practicing the power of now doesn't mean you never think about the past or future. It just means you're not consumed by them. You can plan for tomorrow or reflect on yesterday, but then you return to the present, where life is actually happening. Try this. Next time you're doing something routine, like washing dishes or walking to work, really pay attention to the experience. Feel the water on your hands. Notice the rhythm of your steps. You might be surprised at how rich and fulfilling even ordinary moments can be when you're fully present. You've probably heard of the law of attraction, but what does it really mean? Simply put, this philosophy states that like attracts like. The energy you put out into the world is the energy you get back. It's like tuning a radio. You'll pick up whatever frequency you're tuned into. Now, this doesn't mean that if you think about $1 million, it'll suddenly appear in your bank account. The law of attraction is more about the overall vibration or energy you're putting out. If you're constantly focused on lack and scarcity, you're likely to notice more situations that confirm these beliefs. But if you cultivate an attitude of abundance and gratitude, you'll start to see more opportunities and positive experiences in your life. So how can you use the law of attraction in your daily life? Start by becoming aware of your thoughts and feelings. Are you often complaining or focusing on what's wrong? Try shifting your attention to what's going right, even if it's small things. Practice gratitude daily. It's one of the quickest ways to shift your energy to a more positive frequency. Another key aspect of the law of attraction is visualization. Spend time each day imagining your ideal life in vivid detail. How does it feel? What does it look like? The more real you can make it in your mind, the more you align your energy with that reality. But here's an important point. The law of attraction isn't just about thinking positive thoughts. It's also about taking inspired action. When you're aligned with what you want, you'll feel motivated to take steps towards your goals. Pay attention to these impulses and act on them. Remember, the law of attraction is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to focus your energy and attention. By consciously directing your thoughts and feelings towards what you want rather than what you don't want, you can start to create more of what you desire in your life. Life can sometimes feel like it's happening to us, like we're just along for the ride. But one of the most empowering philosophies is the idea that we always have the power of choice. No matter what situation you find yourself in, you always have options, even if it's just choosing how you respond to what's happening. This philosophy is about taking responsibility for your life. It's easy to blame others or circumstances for our problems, but the truth is, we're the ones who have the power to change our lives. Every moment of every day we're making choices. What we eat, how we spend our time, how we react to others. These are all choices, even if we're not always conscious of making them. Now, this doesn't mean that everything that happens to you is your fault. Bad things happen to good people all the time. But what this philosophy teaches is that even in the face of adversity, we have the power to choose our response. We can choose to be victims, or we can choose to be survivors and even thrivers. Viktor Frankl, a survivor of Nazi concentration camps, famously said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." If someone in such horrific circumstances could find the power of choice, surely we can in our daily lives. So how can you start exercising your power of choice more consciously? Start by pausing before you react to situations. Ask yourself, how do I want to respond to this? Remember, you don't have to react immediately. You can take a breath, consider your options, and then choose your response. Also, start noticing the language you use. Do you often say things like, "I have to" or "I can't"? Try replacing these with, "I choose to" or "I choose not to." This simple shift can remind you of your power and help you take more responsibility for your decisions. The power of choice also extends to bigger life decisions. If you're unhappy with your job, your relationships, or any aspect of your life, remember that you have the power to choose something different. It might not be easy, and it might take time, but you always have options. Embracing the power of choice can be both liberating and a little scary. It means taking full responsibility for your life, but it also means recognizing your own power to shape your destiny. When you truly understand that you're the author of your life story, you can start writing the chapters you've always dreamed of. Life is like a river, always flowing, always changing. This is the essence of the law of impermanence. It teaches us that nothing in life stays the same forever. Everything, our thoughts, feelings, situations, relationships, is in a constant state of flux. At first, this might sound a bit scary. We often cling to things, hoping they'll stay the same. But when we truly understand and accept impermanence, it can be incredibly freeing. It means that no matter how bad things are right now, they won't stay that way forever. It also reminds us to appreciate the good times while they're here, because they too will change. So how can we apply this philosophy in our daily lives? First, try to cultivate an attitude of acceptance towards change. When something in your life shifts, whether it's a job, a relationship, or just your mood, remind yourself that this is the nature of life. Instead of resisting change, try to flow with it. This philosophy also teaches us the importance of living in the present. Since everything is always changing, the only moment we can really count on is now. So instead of always looking ahead to the future or dwelling on the past, focus on fully experiencing and appreciating the present moment. Understanding impermanence can also help us let go of attachments. When we recognize that nothing lasts forever, we can hold things more lightly. We can enjoy them while they're here without desperately trying to make them permanent. Remember, the law of impermanence doesn't mean we shouldn't make plans or work towards goals. It just reminds us to hold those plans lightly and be ready to adapt when things inevitably change. By embracing impermanence, we can become more flexible, resilient, and ultimately more at peace with the ever-changing nature of life. In our constant pursuit of more money, more success, more stuff, we often forget to appreciate what we already have. This is where the power of gratitude comes in. It's a simple idea with profound effects. Regularly focusing on what you're thankful for can dramatically improve your happiness and overall well-being. Gratitude isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your focus to recognize the good things in your life, no matter how small. It could be as simple as appreciating a warm cup of coffee in the morning, a kind word from a friend, or the fact that you have a roof over your head. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to notice the positive aspects of life that we might otherwise overlook. It's like tuning your radio to pick up the frequency of goodness that's always broadcasting. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to spot things to be grateful for. But gratitude isn't just about feeling good. Research has shown that regularly practicing gratitude can improve sleep, boost immune function, reduce stress, and even increase overall life satisfaction. It can also improve our relationships by helping us appreciate the people in our lives more fully. So how can you cultivate more gratitude in your life? One simple way is to keep a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Even small pleasures count. Another approach is to practice gratitude meditation, where you spend a few minutes each day focusing on things you're thankful for. You can also express gratitude directly to others. Tell your friends and family what you appreciate about them. Thank the cashier at the grocery store or the person who holds the door for you. Not only will this make you feel good, but it will also spread positivity to others. Remember, gratitude is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Over time, you'll find yourself naturally noticing and appreciating the good things in your life more often. And as you do, you may find that your whole outlook on life becomes more positive and joyful. You've probably heard the phrase, "What goes around comes around." This is a simple way of describing the principle of karma. In its essence, karma teaches us that our actions have consequences, not just for others, but for ourselves as well. Karma isn't about punishment or reward from some outside force. It's more like a natural law of cause and effect. Every action we take, every word we speak, even every thought we think, creates an energy that eventually comes back to us in some form. This doesn't mean that if you do something good will immediately happen to you. Karma often works in more subtle and long-term ways. It's about the overall pattern of your actions and their effects over time. Understanding karma can be incredibly empowering. It means that we have the ability to shape our own lives through our choices and actions. If we want more kindness in our lives, we can start by being kinder to others. If we want more abundance, we can practice generosity. But karma isn't just about doing good things to get good things. It's about understanding the interconnectedness of all things. Our actions don't just affect us, they ripple out and affect the world around us. When we harm others, we're ultimately harming ourselves too, because we're all part of the same web of life. So how can we apply the principle of karma in our daily lives? Start by becoming more mindful of your actions and their potential consequences. Before you speak or act, ask yourself, is this likely to bring more harmony or more discord into the world? Is it coming from a place of love or fear? Practice kindness and compassion, not just to others, but to yourself as well. Remember, self-kindness is just as important as kindness to others when it comes to karma. Also, try to let go of the need for immediate results. Good karma builds up over time, like compound interest. Trust that your positive actions are creating positive energy, even if you don't see the results right away. Finally, remember that karma isn't about keeping score. It's not about doing good things just to get something in return. It's about aligning your actions with your values and creating more positivity in the world. When you do this, you'll likely find that good things naturally start to flow into your life. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly attract success while others struggle no matter how hard they try? The difference often lies in the power of intention. This philosophy teaches us that our thoughts and intentions have a powerful influence on our reality. The power of intention goes beyond just positive thinking. It's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your deepest desires and goals. When you set a clear intention, you're essentially telling the universe, this is what I want to create. But here's the key. Intention isn't just about wanting something. It's about embodying the feeling of already having it. It's about living as if your desire is already your reality. This might sound a bit strange at first, but it's based on the idea that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So how can you harness the power of intention in your life? Start by getting clear about what you really want. Not just surface-level wants, but your deepest desires. What kind of life do you want to create? How do you want to feel? Once you're clear on your intentions, spend time each day visualizing them as if they're already real. See yourself living that life, feeling those feelings. Make it as vivid and real as possible in your mind. But intention isn't just about visualization. It's also about taking inspired action. When you're clear on your intentions and aligned with them energetically, you'll start to notice opportunities that align with your goals. Pay attention to these and act on them. It's also important to watch your words and thoughts throughout the day. Are they aligned with your intentions, or are they contradicting them? For example, if your intention is to attract abundance, but you're constantly complaining about not having enough money, you're sending mixed signals to the universe. Remember, the power of intention isn't about controlling every aspect of your life. It's about setting a clear direction and then allowing the universe to bring it about in ways that might surprise you. It's about co-creating your reality with the universe rather than trying to force things to happen. Practicing the power of intention requires patience and trust. Results may not be immediate, but over time, you'll likely start to see your reality shifting to match your intentions. And even if things don't work out exactly as you imagined, you'll often find that the process of living with clear intentions brings more joy, purpose, and fulfillment to your life. In our goal-oriented society, we're often taught to grip tightly to our desires, to never give up, to push and strive constantly. But the law of detachment teaches us something that might seem counterintuitive at first. Sometimes the best way to get what you want is to let go of your attachment to it. This doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or becoming passive. Instead, it's about releasing your tight grip on how things should turn out. It's about trusting in the process of life and being open to outcomes that might be even better than what you initially imagined. The law of detachment is based on the understanding that excessive attachment often comes from a place of fear or insecurity. When we're too attached to a specific outcome, we create resistance and tension. We might become anxious, frustrated, or disappointed if things don't go exactly as planned. On the other hand, when we learn to detach, we create space for flow in our lives. We become more flexible and open to opportunities we might have missed if we were too fixated on one particular path. So how can we practice detachment in our daily lives? Start by setting your intentions and taking action towards your goals, but then release your grip on the outcome. Trust that things will work out for your highest good, even if it's not in the way you expected. Practice saying to yourself, I trust in the process of life. When you feel anxiety or frustration about something not going your way, remind yourself to detach. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself releasing that tight grip. Another powerful practice is to focus on the present moment. Often, our attachments are about future outcomes. By bringing your attention back to the here and now, you naturally let go of those future-oriented worries. Remember, detachment doesn't mean not caring. You can still be passionate and committed to your goals while practicing detachment. It's about finding a balance between taking action and surrendering to the flow of life. As you practice the law of detachment, you might find that things start to flow more easily in your life. You may feel more peaceful and less stressed. And ironically, you might find that the things you want come to you more easily when you're not desperately trying to make them happen. Life often feels like a struggle, doesn't it? We push against circumstances, fight our emotions, resist change. But what if there was another way? This is where the principle of non-resistance comes in. It teaches us that often the path of least resistance is the most effective and peaceful way forward. Non-resistance doesn't mean being passive or letting people walk all over you. It's about recognizing when you're creating unnecessary struggle through your resistance and choosing instead to flow with life. Think of it like this. When you're swimming in a river, it's much easier to go with the current than to fight against it. The same is true in life. When we resist what is, we create tension and struggle. When we accept and flow, we conserve our energy and often find more effective solutions. So how can we apply non-resistance in our daily lives? Start by becoming aware of when you're resisting. Are you constantly complaining about a situation you can't change? Are you fighting against your own emotions, trying to force yourself to feel differently? These are forms of resistance. Instead of resisting, try accepting. This doesn't mean you have to like everything that happens, but you accept that it is happening. From this place of acceptance, you can then decide how to respond most effectively. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, resistance might look like getting angry, honking your horn, and stressing about being late. Non-resistance would be accepting that this is the current situation, taking a deep breath, and using the time to listen to a podcast or practice mindfulness. Non-resistance also applies to our inner world. Instead of fighting against difficult emotions, try acknowledging and accepting them. You might be surprised to find that when you stop resisting your feelings, they often pass more quickly. Remember, non-resistance isn't about never taking action to change things. It's about knowing when to flow and when to act. Often, when we stop resisting and start accepting, we gain clarity about what actions we need to take. As you practice non-resistance, you might find that life starts to feel easier. Problems that used to seem huge become manageable. You conserve energy that you used to spend on useless resistance, leaving you with more vitality for the things that really matter. Here's a mind-bending thought. Everything in the universe, including you, is made of energy vibrating at different frequencies. This is the essence of the law of vibration. It's not just some new age concept, it's backed by quantum physics. But why does this matter in our everyday lives? Because understanding the law of vibration can help us consciously shape our experiences and attract what we want. You see, according to this law, like attracts like. The energy you put out into the world, through your thoughts, feelings, and actions, attracts similar energy back to you. It's like tuning a radio. If you want to listen to a rock station, you need to tune into the right frequency. In the same way, if you want to experience more joy, abundance, or love in your life, you need to vibrate at that frequency. So how can we apply this in practical terms? Start by becoming aware of your vibration, the overall energy you're putting out. Are your thoughts mostly positive or negative? How do you feel most of the time? What kind of energy do you bring into a room? If you find that your vibration is lower than you'd like, there are many ways to raise it. Gratitude is one of the quickest ways to shift your energy. So is focusing on things that bring you joy. Even something as simple as smiling or listening to uplifting music can change your vibration. Another powerful practice is visualization. When you vividly imagine your desired outcome, feeling the positive emotions associated with it, you're actually tuning your energy to that frequency. The law of vibration also reminds us of the importance of our environment. The people we spend time with, the media we consume, the spaces we inhabit, all of these affect our vibration. Choose wisely. Remember, this isn't about forcing yourself to be positive all the time. It's about becoming aware of your energy and consciously choosing to align with the vibrations that match what you want to experience in life. As you practice working with the law of vibration, you might start to notice subtle shifts in your life. You might find yourself attracting more positive experiences and people. You might feel more in tune with life's flow. And you might discover a new sense of empowerment as you realize that you have the ability to shape your reality through your energy. Forgiveness might be one of the most misunderstood and undervalued tools for personal growth and happiness. Many people think forgiveness is about condoning hurtful actions or letting someone off the hook. But that's not what true forgiveness is about at all. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the burden of anger, resentment, and pain. It's about choosing to release the negative emotions that are holding you back and draining your energy. In essence, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. When we hold on to grudges or resentment, we're the ones who suffer. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. Unforgiveness keeps us tied to the past, replaying old hurts and preventing us from fully embracing the present moment. So how can we practice forgiveness? First, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It often takes time and patience. Start by acknowledging your hurt feelings. Don't try to minimize or deny them. It's okay to admit that you were hurt or wronged. Then, try to shift your perspective. Can you see the situation from the other person's point of view? This doesn't mean you have to agree with their actions, but understanding can often soften our hearts. Next, make a conscious decision to forgive. This is a choice you make for your own well-being, regardless of whether the other person deserves it or not. You might find it helpful to say out loud, "I choose to forgive person," for action. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean you have to reconcile with the person who hurt you or continue a relationship with them. It's about releasing the negative emotions for your own peace of mind. Forgiveness also applies to yourself. Often we're our own harshest critics, holding on to guilt and shame for past mistakes. Learning to forgive yourself can be incredibly liberating and healing. As you practice forgiveness, you might find that it gets easier over time. You might notice that you feel lighter, more peaceful, and more able to live in the present moment. You're no longer carrying the heavy burden of past hurts. Remember, forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing harmful behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the past so you can fully embrace your present and future. It's a powerful act of self-love and a key to living a more peaceful and fulfilling life. In a world that often seems driven by competition and scarcity, the principle of abundance offers a refreshing perspective. This philosophy teaches us that the universe is inherently abundant, with enough resources, opportunities, and good things for everyone. The scarcity mindset tells us that there's not enough to go around, not enough money, love, success, or happiness. This belief often leads to fear, greed, and a sense of constant struggle. On the other hand, an abundance mindset opens us up to the infinite possibilities and resources available to us. Embracing abundance doesn't mean ignoring real-world challenges or limitations. Instead, it's about shifting our perspective to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It's about believing in our ability to create and attract what we need. So how can we cultivate an abundance mindset? Start by becoming aware of scarcity thinking in your life. Do you often worry there won't be enough? Do you feel threatened by others' success? These are signs of a scarcity mindset. To shift towards abundance, practice gratitude for what you already have. This helps train your mind to notice the abundance that's already present in your life. Also, celebrate others' successes instead of feeling threatened by them. In an abundant universe, someone else's gain doesn't have to mean your loss. Another powerful practice is to be generous. When we give freely, whether it's our time, resources, or kindness, we reinforce our belief in abundance. We show the universe that we trust there's more than enough. As you embrace the principle of abundance, you might find yourself feeling more secure, more generous, and more optimistic about your future. You may notice more opportunities coming your way simply because you're now open to seeing them. As above, so below, as within, so without. This ancient Hermetic principle, known as the law of correspondence, suggests that there's a harmony, agreement, and correspondence between the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. In simpler terms, this law states that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. The patterns we see in nature and the universe are mirrored within us, and our internal state is mirrored in our external reality. This principle can be powerful when applied to personal growth. It suggests that if we want to change our outer circumstances, we need to start by changing our inner world, our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. For example, if you want more harmony in your relationships, start by cultivating inner harmony. If you want to experience more abundance in your life, work on feeling abundant within yourself first. The law of correspondence also reminds us of our connection to the universe. It suggests that by understanding ourselves, we can understand the universe, and vice versa. This can lead to a profound sense of unity and purpose. To apply this principle, start paying attention to the patterns in your life. What recurring themes do you see? How might these be reflecting your inner state? Then, focus on making positive changes internally. As you work on yourself, watch how your outer world begins to shift in response. Remember, this isn't about controlling every aspect of your life. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and your power to influence your reality through your inner world. In our achievement-oriented culture, surrender often gets a bad rap. We're taught to push, strive, and make things happen. But the power of surrender teaches us that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is let go and trust. Surrender doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It's about releasing our need to control everything and trusting in a higher power, the universe, or the natural flow of life. It's recognizing that there are forces at work beyond our limited perspective. When we're constantly trying to force things to happen, we create resistance and stress. We exhaust ourselves swimming against the current. Surrender is about aligning ourselves with the flow of life instead of fighting against it. So how can we practice surrender in our daily lives? Start by recognizing areas where you're trying to control outcomes. Are you anxious about the future? Trying to force a relationship or situation to work out a certain way? These are opportunities to practice surrender. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, I surrender this to the universe. Imagine yourself releasing your grip and allowing things to unfold naturally. Trust that whatever happens is for your highest good, even if you can't see how right now. Surrender also involves accepting what is, rather than fighting against reality. This doesn't mean we never take action to improve things, but we accept the current moment as it is before deciding how to respond. As you practice surrender, you might find that life starts to flow more easily. Solutions to problems often appear when we stop trying to force them. We become more peaceful and less stressed. And ironically, we often end up achieving our goals more easily when we're not attached to controlling every step of the process. Life often seems full of opposites, good and bad, light and dark, love and hate. The principle of polarity teaches us that these opposites are not separate, but different aspects of the same thing. They're two extremes of the same spectrum. This principle reminds us that everything has its opposite, and that these opposites are really just different degrees of the same thing. For example, hot and cold are just different degrees of temperature. Light and dark are different degrees of illumination. Understanding polarity can be incredibly liberating. It helps us see that nothing is inherently good or bad. These are just labels we assign based on our perspective. It also shows us that if we're experiencing one extreme, the other extreme is also available to us. So how can we apply this principle in our lives? First, try to see beyond rigid dualities. Instead of thinking in terms of either or, consider the spectrum between opposites. This can lead to more nuanced and compassionate understanding. When facing a challenging situation, remember that its opposite also exists. If you're experiencing failure, know that success is on the same spectrum. If you're feeling sad, joy is just at the other end of that same emotional spectrum. The principle of polarity also invites us to embrace all aspects of ourselves and life, rather than rejecting what we perceive as negative. By accepting and integrating all parts of ourselves, we become more whole and balanced. As you work with this principle, you might find yourself becoming more flexible in your thinking and more accepting of life's ups and downs. You may discover a new sense of empowerment as you realize you have the ability to shift your position on any spectrum of experience. Life has a rhythm to it, doesn't it? We see it in the changing seasons, in the ebb and flow of the tides, in the cycles of the moon. The law of rhythm teaches us that everything in the universe moves in cycles or rhythms. This principle reminds us that nothing stays the same forever. Good times don't last indefinitely, but neither do bad times. Everything is in constant motion, swinging like a pendulum from one extreme to another. Understanding this law can bring great comfort during challenging times. When we're in a down phase, we can take solace in knowing that an up phase is coming. Similarly, during good times, we can appreciate them fully while understanding that they too shall pass. So how can we apply the law of rhythm in our daily lives? First, try to recognize the rhythms in your own life. Do you notice cycles in your mood, energy levels, or productivity? By becoming aware of these patterns, you can work with them rather than against them. When you're in a positive phase, make the most of it. Use that energy and optimism to push forward on your goals. When you're in a more challenging phase, be gentle with yourself. Use this time for rest, reflection, and planning. The law of rhythm also teaches us the importance of balance. Just as nature has times of activity and rest, so should we. Honor your need for both productivity and relaxation. Remember, no matter what phase you're in, it's temporary. This knowledge can help you stay grounded during highs and hopeful during lows. As you align yourself with life's natural rhythms, you may find yourself flowing more easily through life's ups and downs. Have you ever stopped to think about the power of your words? The power of words principle teaches us that the language we use shapes our reality. Our words are not just sounds or written symbols. They carry energy and have the power to create. This isn't just about positive thinking or affirmations, although those can be powerful tools. It's about recognizing that the words we speak and think are constantly shaping our perception of reality and influencing our actions. For example, If you constantly tell yourself, I can't do this, you're programming your subconscious mind to look for evidence that supports this belief. On the other hand, if you say, I'm learning and improving every day, you open yourself up to growth and possibilities. So how can we harness the power of words in our lives? Start by becoming more conscious of your self-talk. What kind of messages are you sending yourself throughout the day? Are they empowering or limiting? Practice rephrasing negative statements into positive ones. Instead of, this is too hard, try, this is challenging, but I'm capable of figuring it out. Instead of, I'm so stressed, try, I'm learning to manage my responsibilities effectively. The power of words also extends to how we speak about others and the world around us. When we speak kindly and positively about others, we not only improve our relationships, but also create a more positive environment for ourselves. Remember, this isn't about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing words that empower you and open up possibilities rather than limit you. As you become more conscious of your words, you might be surprised at how your reality begins to shift. You may find yourself feeling more confident, seeing more opportunities, and creating more of what you want in life. Your words have power. Use them wisely. Every action has a reaction. Every cause has an effect. This is the essence of the principle of cause and effect, also known as the law of karma in some traditions. It states that nothing happens by chance or outside the universal laws. This principle teaches us that we are responsible for our lives. The situations we find ourselves in are the effects of causes we set in motion through our thoughts, words, and actions. This might seem daunting at first, but it's actually incredibly empowering. It means we have the power to shape our future by the choices we make today. Understanding this principle can help us make more conscious choices. Before taking an action, we can pause and consider, what effect am I likely to create with this cause? This can lead to more thoughtful, intentional living. The principle of cause and effect also reminds us to be patient. Sometimes, we don't see the effects of our actions immediately. Just as a farmer doesn't see a sprout the day after planting a seed, the results of our actions may take time to manifest. So how can we apply this principle in our daily lives? Start by taking responsibility for your current situation. Instead of blaming others or circumstances, ask yourself, how might I have contributed to creating this situation? Then focus on creating causes that will lead to the effects you desire. Want more kindness in your life? Be kinder to others. Want more success? Take actions that lead to success. Remember, this principle works on all levels: physical, mental, and spiritual. Our thoughts and beliefs are also causes that create effects in our lives. By cultivating positive thoughts and empowering beliefs, we set the stage for positive outcomes. As you work with the principle of cause and effect, you may find yourself becoming more mindful of your choices. You might feel a greater sense of control over your life, and you may start to see more clearly how your past choices have shaped your present, giving you the wisdom to shape your future more consciously. Our final philosophy brings us full circle, connecting all the others. The law of unity teaches us that despite appearances of separation and division, we are all interconnected. Everything in the universe is part of one unified whole. This principle is echoed in many spiritual traditions and is even supported by modern physics, which shows that at the quantum level, everything is energy and interconnected. Understanding and embracing this law can profoundly shift our perspective on life. When we truly grasp that we are all one, it changes how we treat others and the world around us. If everyone and everything is part of the same whole, then hurting others is ultimately hurting ourselves. Similarly, when we help others, we're also helping ourselves. The law of unity also relates to our connection with the universe or a higher power. It suggests that we're not separate from the creative force of the universe, but a part of it. This can bring a deep sense of belonging and purpose. So how can we apply this principle in our daily lives? Start by looking for the connections between things rather than the separations. When you meet someone new, try to find what you have in common rather than focusing on differences. Practice compassion and kindness, remembering that everyone you meet is part of the same unified whole as you. Extend this compassion to all living things and to the planet itself. You can also apply this principle to problem solving. Instead of seeing issues as isolated, look for the interconnections. Often, addressing one area can have positive ripple effects in others. As you embrace the law of unity, you might find yourself feeling more connected to others and to the world around you. You may experience a greater sense of peace and purpose. And you might discover a new level of compassion and understanding for all beings. As we come to the end of our exploration of these 20 life-changing philosophies, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Each of these principles offers a unique lens through which to view life, and together they create a powerful framework for personal growth and understanding. Remember, these philosophies aren't just abstract concepts. They're practical tools you can use every day to create a more fulfilling, peaceful, and purposeful life. Whether you're dealing with challenges, seeking personal growth, or simply trying to understand yourself and the world better, these ideas can guide you. Start by choosing one or two principles that resonate with you the most. Focus on applying them in your daily life. As you do, you may find that your perspective shifts, new opportunities appear, and you feel more aligned with your true self and the flow of life. Don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate changes. Like any practice, working with these philosophies takes time and patience. The key is to stay consistent and keep an open mind. As you continue on your journey, remember that you're not alone. We're all part of this grand adventure of life, all learning and growing together. By embracing these philosophies, you're not just changing your own life, you're contributing to the positive evolution of our collective consciousness. So, are you ready to step into a new way of being, to see yourself and the world with fresh eyes, to unlock your potential and create a life of meaning, purpose, and joy? The power is in your hands. These philosophies are the keys. Now it's up to you to use them to unlock the doors to a transformed life. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. May these philosophies light your path and guide you towards your highest potential. Remember, every moment is a new opportunity to apply these principles and create the life you desire. The adventure begins now.